Hello, good evening to all. I am Rohit Raghavan and I am the General Administrator of Mavericks 64, Nilgiri Chess Club. And today I am going to present you with a video explanation of five puzzles which I have sent on 28th of October. So let's get started. First of all, let me introduce myself. As I said, I am Rohit Raghavan and I am currently a student of IIT Madras Maze program and a data science branch. Plus, you can join the Nilgiri House if you are from Nilgiri House, and the links you can reach out to me directly. I can add you in the group as well. Okay, so let's get started. This is the starting preface, and this puzzle series is being initiated due to the puzzles which were provided by our honorable player, Naga Sheriff Bro, and he is also an active student at IIT MBS program, and he is also from data science branch. We just want a pledge from your end that whatever number of puzzles, that is five in number, we will send puzzles daily, and you will solve at least one of them daily sincerely and send the answers to me in a personal chat of WhatsApp. Okay, so please make that habit, please make that promise, and your chess levels will exponentially improve in the coming months, and you will be able to see yourself that you are playing much better chess and looking the moves from a further perspective. Okay, from a broader perspective, and you are able to see three, four, five, six moves in advance with the due course of time. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first puzzle, it's white to move and win. So I will show you the analysis of how to think about this puzzle. Let me just tell you the structure of the position that both the players have. White has three pawns, A2, B2, C2, and then E4, a central pawn, and three walls, wall pawns that are F2, G2, and H2. Alongside it, they also have a rook, white rook, as well as a white knight. Okay. In contrary, black has a7, b7, c6, three pawns on the queen side, and f7, g7, and h7, three pawns on the king side. The white king is on g1, perfectly secure from any type of checkmates, and black king on h8 is a bit vulnerable because of knight checks and possibility of getting a back. Okay, so that's that. So let us just start the series. Now, if you observe this position, you see the position of black king here. I am telling you how to think in these types of position. There are two concepts involved. Okay, forking with the knight on check. Sorry, forking here on f7, knight h6 to h7. Knight moves like an L shape, and also this rook can swing over to d8 for a checkmate, and this concept is known as back rank checkmate. Okay, so let us just rewind it back. Now, if you think you can deliver a check with knight, but the problem is, as you may know, that rook comes forward. Okay, so it will capture it. So you are thinking that okay, I will capture the knight with pawn, and the rook will capture this. But what after that? Well, let's get introduced to the concept of backrank mate. Here, after white plays knight takes f7, rook takes f7, you have a stunning move here, rook d8. Notice that this king is trapped on the back rank. It cannot move upwards because g7 and h7 pawns block the movement of this king. Okay, so he has to slide his queen back first to e8. Okay, try to imagine this, and you can set it up on the chessboard online or off over the board as well. Rook takes e8. Rook will capture the queen with a check, and this rook comes back to h8. Sorry, f8, and then you have the rook takes f8, a beautiful checkmate on the back rank of black king. Notice knight consists of 3 points and a rook consists of 5 points, whereas a queen consists of 9 points and rook again consists of 5 points. So 9 plus 5, 14, and to say 5 plus 3, 8 points are there with white and 14 for black. Black should be theoretically winning. But sometimes these point differences and piece material differences don't matter in some positions. And one of the position is this one. So the answer is knight takes f7, rook takes f7, rook t8 check, queen e8, rook takes e8 check, and rook f8, followed by rook takes f8 checkmate. Okay. Now you may have doubt that okay, I have forcing the checkmate. What if after all these things, let me just show you once more. This knight moves in an L-shaped manner, captures f7, and there is a 4 on this king, okay, on this king as well as this queen, okay. You also notice this thing. And suppose black moves king g here. So you can take this queen on the next move by playing knight takes e5, and you are already a full knight up. That means you have captured one pawn, okay, and you have captured one queen for free, which means that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns on your account, and only 5 pawns because f7 is captured. So you have only 5 pawns on the black side, plus you are a knight up. So this should be technically winning. Okay. So that's the solution. Knight takes f7 is the solution for first puzzle. Okay. Now let's move on to the second puzzle. Here you notice the board very carefully. Again, can you see a replica or a what should I say? A repetition of concept which we discussed in the first puzzle in the second puzzle as well? If yes, you are absolutely in the correct direction. You see, the queen is on g4 now, king is on h1. Again, the similar back rank threat exists with the, sorry, pardon me for the arrows, rook e8 and then knight f2 kind of things also work. And notice that the bishop is also there as a catalyst to add on to the attack that is being posed. So let's get started. Here you I you can see the material differences. So 6 pawns for white, two on queen side, two on king side, one on f4 and one on t3, attacking this knight. Okay, and two rooks worth 5 points each, so 10 points. Bishop, uh, bishop is worth 3 points. Queen is worth 9 points. So 13, 9, 22 points. In contrast, black has two rooks, 10 points, one bishop, 13, and one knight, 16. So white is materially up, but it's black to move now. So what will black move? Where will he go? Let's find out. Think. What kind of checks do you see here? Do you see a knight g3 check? Yes. Do you see a knight f2 check? Yes. But yeah, I see both of them. But you may have a doubt that which one works. You know, you are giving voluntarily a knight for free. This is how chess is played. You can think like that. But to tell you honestly, this knight is being given up for the bigger purpose of achieving a checkmate at this point. Okay. So knight g3 does not achieve any purpose because queen can capture on g3 and there is no threat of any imminent checkmate or any bigger threat on blacks on white team. Whereas, can we check out knight f2 first? Yeah, sure. Let's go knight f2 check. King g1 or rook f2 only moves. Okay, there are only two legal moves here. If king g1 is played, then we have a free queen here. Knight takes g4. That's a checkmate, most probably. That's not a checkmate, but it's a check on G1. Okay. And thereafter, it's just a winning position. Then you come in with rook e2 and double up the rooks again. And it's kind of crushing here. Okay. Black is clearly winning with a piece up and a very dominant position as well. So both factors are involved here. This is for king g1. And now let's see the critical line. Rook takes f2. I will just erase all the arrows. Knight f2 check. And if he goes rook f2, then you have a beautiful. I'm so sorry. Then you have a beautiful rook e1 check. Rook f1 and rook takes f1 checkmate. So this is the answer. The answer for this puzzle. It's same as previous above. Just the colors have changed. Knight f2, rook f2, or king g1. If king g1, knight takes g4. Black is black is up a full knight, and knight g4 is a check on the black king. Okay, king g1. For example, let's say knight f2 and then king g1, and you have a knight g4 here with a check from bishop side. Okay, the arrows might complicate you, but you can try it on your own and see that there is a discovered check. This concept is known as discovered check, where a piece, you know, gets away from a square in order to facilitate another piece giving a check to the opposition king. Okay, so this is known as a discovered attack or precisely discovered check. So the answer is knight f2. Happy learning. Let's look at the third puzzle of the day. And third puzzle says that it's black to move and win, firstly. And you see the material differences as usual. Two rooks, one queen, and one bishop and one knight. Calculate it. Queen worth 9 points, rooks worth 10 points, 5 5 each. Bishop and knight worth 6 points, 3 3 each. Okay, so you can just add it up, and you know the addition very well. But it's black to move, and black also has two rooks, a queen, and a bishop. Okay, he's technically a knight down, and but you notice he has compensated that for the activity that he has with respect to the position. These rooks and knight are almost as good as not being existing in the position. The king is weak. This king on g1 is pretty weak, and this queen and bishop form a very very powerful battery. And again, the idea of back rank checkmate is looming in the air. Okay, so let's get started. Here, how do I think or how do I derive the answer? Now, what are my threats? We have to check what are the threats. This rook is threatening the queen, so queen must move. But at the same time, it has to protect the bishop. It can do two things, either to protect the bishop or to deliver a counter strike which will affect the long-term stability of black king. And fortunately, when we think of the first angle, we say, okay, queen b4 is there, it's nothing special, you have a piece up, white can just convert it and blah blah blah. But in the second position, you can go aggressively here. Queen takes f2 check. Queen takes f2 is a good check because you might argue that queen takes f2 is a good possibility. But notice that this bishop on c5 is pinning this queen on f2. Then you have beautiful back rank checkmate at rook e1 check. And notice this queen cannot capture this because it is pinned to white king. So that's it. The solution goes queen takes f2, queen takes f2, and rook e1 checkmate. And if white goes king h1, then queen takes f1 checkmate is the immediate reply. Let's start with the fourth puzzle. This is also black to move and win. You can calculate the material differences. White has two rooks, 10 points, queen, 9 points, total of 19, and a bishop extra, 22 points, along with three pawns, h2, g3, e3, and b3. Four pawns are there with white, and black has h6, g7, b4. Three pawns worth 3 points, worth 1 point each, and rook, two rooks, 10 points, and queen, 9 points. So basically, black is down a material. But notice that this black king is very, very safe here. But if it's white to move, then white would have thought of rook takes h6 kind of ideas. Because the rook can take the king pawn on h6 very easily. Because the queen on g7 is pinning this g pawn and it cannot take back. So we have to go king g8 and then bishop d5 is curtains for black. But fortunately, it's black to move, and black has a serious activity, or we can say even a checkmate at this point. Whenever it's a good practice that whenever we are materially down in some games, it's always a good practice to go for a counter attack. And then in this position, white is crushingly winning, and he's just two moves away. He's basically just one move away from delivering a devastating loss for the black king. But since it's black to move, black has gathered some aggressive counterplay through his aggressive play, and therefore black also has a one shot, one attempt checkmate here. Reason is when we are materially down, we have to just go for a quick checkmate or quick tactic where we win lots of material in clouds so that the position becomes very, very simplified and we at least gain an equality or a quick checkmate. So at this point, we can basically, we are forced to go for a slam bam attack. Slam bam attack means a direct attack on the on the white king, and therefore to facilitate this idea, we just have two moves in place here. Firstly, the idea is to play a rook f2 check. What does rook f2 do? Well, it aims to, it asked white to take this rook on f2 so that queen takes f2 can come, and therefore king h3 can come, followed by queen f1 and king h4. Possibly there is no mate in this position. So we have to think harder. Rook f2 is not a solution because even if he takes, then we have queen takes f2, king h3, queen f1, and if we either we can go king g4 or king h4. Both moves are winning for. But can we think of any other aggressive move here? Yes, it's rook g1 check. What happens and what is the difference between rook g1 and rook f2? Well, the difference lies in the positioning of the rook and the access to the queen that this rook facilitates to deliver. So rook f1, rook g1 check. White has two options, either to take this rook or to run away with king h3. And both of them unfortunately loses for him on the spot. Firstly, let's explore rook g1 and king takes g1. Okay, we will just clear all. Rook g1 is the correct move here. Thereafter, king takes g1. Okay, and thereafter, queen f1 is a beautiful checkmate here. What happens if he runs away? Well, we can also explore that. King can only run away to h3, but queen can diagonally move on to the h5 square, and it's a checkmate again because this rook on g1 does not allow the king to come back to g2 square, and there are no forward movements for the king which are accessible, and this bishop blocks the movement of queen. Hence the queen also cannot come in between to save her monarch. So it's a dead end for white and it's a checkmate. It's basically a very good puzzle because the game is literally on a knife edge, and whosoever has a chance to win, whosoever has a turn to move here, will win the game quite comprehensively. So I hope you understood it. Last puzzle of the day, it's white to move and win. Here the position is pretty much equal, because if you see, black is only up by 2 points. Queen and queen are nullified. As you can see, queen and queen are there. Bishop and knight both consist of 3 points. And if it would have been black to move, and it's checkmate in mine, checkmate in one move, because queen can swing over to h1 and deliver a devastating checkmate on the on the white king, because white king cannot run to g4 or he can return to g2. So both the squares are being covered up by black beautifully, and it's a checkmate if it is black square. But as we say, it's white to move in this position, and white is surprisingly winning by a beautiful tactic here. Can you spot it? Let's find how to spot a tactic here. Well, you can imagine a scenario where this queen gets this d8 check easily, but unfortunately, this queen is there on d1, and this queen wants to skewer this black queen by enticing it to a checkmate. How can it be done? Well, we can go for queen h7 and then king d8 and queen g8, and these kind of checks may follow. But ultimately, black will be able to get out of this jam. Okay, so queen h7, king d8, queen g8, king d7, queen f7, king c6, and the king can just walk up the board entirely, and at some point this queen will block the checks without any problems. So we must find a very, very direct move which completely finishes off the game in style. So let's explore what that move is. Bishop d6 does not work here because knight and queen both guard this d6 along with the king. What about bishop f6? Looks like a stupid move, right? But it's actually a very good move. Why? Bishop f6 is the correct move because if you take this bishop, then surprisingly, queen f8. Just 1 minute. I will just. If you play bishop f6, then king takes f6 and queen f8 is a beautiful checkmate. Why? King cannot run back to g7 or e7. Neither he can go forward to e5 or g5. And black king is tied down to being a servant of white at this point. Okay, but you have just explained only one variation. You may tell me what happens if we go somewhere like king d6 or king d7? Well, we have achieved the idea of skewering the queen. Now see, queen d8. If we play bishop f6 first and he goes king d7 or king d6 wherever he wants, then we have a beautiful check here, queen d8, which first of all gives a primary threat of checking this white king, but the secondary and the more cunning threat is to kill off this black queen fantastically. And once this happens, it's curtains for black, and black will be soon able to resign without hesitation or get checkmated by the white queen, by the force of white queen and bishop alone. So I hope you have enjoyed all the puzzles that we have sent yesterday. Thank you for support, and please answer them again and again on a consistent basis. Thank you for watching the video, and tap a like button if you like this. And for more these kinds of puzzles, you can join the Mavericks 64 Nilgiri Chess Club, or you can just contact anybody in the group as well. Thank you so much for watching this. Bye bye. Good night.